Hey everybody, Steve here from the Soul Revival. We've got a ram-packed weekend ahead as we head down to Gibson Garage, where we're going to be playing an awesome show. But that's not the only thing that we've got going on this weekend. We've also got a single coming out on Saturday. Now, this one is called Raised by the Fire. I said in a previous video that this is probably a more personal song, not in terms of like relationships and stuff like that, but just one that sort of means something to me. So I just wanted to give you a run through of the lyrics and what they mean. So let's dive right in. I was raised for most of my life in Blakenall, which is near Bloxwich, which if you know of the place, you'll know it was all fun and games. A lot of great people. Could be a bit rough at times, but it was full of like community and everybody knew each other and it was fun. But surrounding areas as well, could be a little more, no, I don't want to say dangerous, but it could certainly be fisticuffs a lot of the times. So you had to be ready and prepared for that kind of lifestyle if you're in that area, and you had to be able to deal with it. That was a big thing. So the lyrics, I'm just going to look to my right here. So we've got council estates, red bricks and rain. Obviously we live in Britain, so we've always got rain, and from a council estate originally until parents obviously bought their house. We laughed in packs, but trust was rare. I always felt like when I was a kid that I was surrounded by a lot of people, and I used to sort of be in big crowds, but I never really ever felt like I could trust many. There was like a select few that maybe I knew had my back if shit went down, you know what I mean? The rest of them had Scarpa. But that's always just how I felt. I always had that in the back of my mind, because I was the kind of person that if something went down and I'm with you, I'm backing you, like, and that's it. So I'm with you. I didn't always feel like that was necessarily reciprocated, which happens a lot, it seems, in my life. I will go out of my way to help people with stuff or do stuff with people. It's not always come back, but you don't give to receive, as they say. So, you know, I'm just one of those people. If I feel like someone needs help, I'm going to be there. So that's what that was about. And I felt the eyes, they'd always stare, is a line in that verse as well. I wrote that in particular about back in the day when we used to have a few girl mates that we used to hang around with, and because we were good lads, we always used to make sure that the girls got home safely. So we'd ride our bikes, make sure they got home, and then we'd have to bike it home. And often it'd be quite dark at that time of night, especially in the winter. And you'd be driving, and I had luckily my mum and dad always got us like the best like stuff, and I remember having this Diamondback BMX, and it was mint, it was chrome, it looked sick. And I remember riding it through this street and up this one particular street, and I could always feel everyone in the driveways, their eyeballs sort of watching me as I rode past, thinking one day one of them's going to try and nick this bike. So like, you know, that's what that line is all about. And again, I've put looking over my shoulder more than I looked ahead, learn to fight back and not going to live in dread. So when I was young, I signed for the Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club Academy, and I was doing really well in my football and stuff. The school made a big deal about it, told everybody about it. And then not long straight after, some kids in an older year told me that that won't last long because they're going to break my legs. I mean, to be fair, I was always a bit like, well, you're going to have to catch me first because I'm pretty fucking quick. So I wasn't that bothered. But what I did sort of learn, especially sort of like year 9, 10 upwards, year 8 to 9, when you're sort of first in the school, you had to learn to fight back. You couldn't just let people walk all over you. I wasn't particularly big. I had a lot of big mates, but I was probably one of the ones that was ready for a scrap a bit more often than some of the others. But I realised I had to, because if I didn't shut stuff down, it would just keep happening constantly. And it did happen for pretty much throughout the entirety of my secondary school. Like, people think that it's the weak that get bullied, and it is sometimes. Like, vulnerable people can get picked on, but sometimes it can be the opposite. I was quite popular. I had a lot of mates. I hung around a lot of girls. I had a lot of fun with people. I had tons of friends. I got on well with my teachers and stuff. But with that, bought a bit of jealousy. No better example than when I bought my first car and it was virtually brand new, and someone decided to tried to smash the windows on it the first day or first week I had it. So, you know, you have to kind of get your head around all of that and sort of be able to deal with it and just be able to sort of stick the middle of finger up and just keep playing through. No safe place, just front doors slammed. But I walked with pride through the dirt and the damned. I've never been ashamed of saying where I come from. And one of the things I actually would like to put out as a message to people is, you get told when you live in these areas that you know, get a bog standard job, work in a factory, do that for the rest of your life. That's you, basically. That's the lane that you're shoved into. And whilst I haven't made it to the big time just yet, I've got my own business. I've bought my house in a different area. I've moved out of that area now, and I'm still chasing this dream of the music and media and all the rest of it. And you know, I think that you can break that cycle and break the norm. So that's what that's about. Like, I'm prideful of where I'm from and what it's done for me and the character it's turned me into. But I'm glad that I also managed to break through that and move on from it as well at the same time. So the chorus goes, I'm raised by the fire, born from the flame. Every burn made me stronger, every fight made my name. I ain't running, and I ain't ashamed. I was raised by the fire, but now I'm the flame. My favourite chorus that I've ever written, hands down. I feel like this new stuff that we're writing at the moment is going to blow our old stuff out the water, honestly, in terms of the songs themselves. So I hope that comes across and people enjoy it. So let's go into the second verse. So the people will be able to relate to this. So street lights told us when the day was done. For kids that are on social media now and spend all their time gaming, basically what this means is when the street lights in the street used to flicker and turn on at night, that was our signal to all go home, because we didn't have mobile phones and our parents had. We could have been bloody anywhere. Our parents had no idea where we was. But we always came home on time, because you knew if you didn't, you'd get the wrath of your mum. So, never mind dad. Mum was bad enough. So, you want to make sure that you're back in the house as soon as those street lights come on. So, the next line of that verse is, back when freedom lived on the run. And what I mean by that is nowadays, again, kids are all on these tablets. We had to go out on our bikes and run around the fields and, you know, do all that kind of good stuff. Like, and I think there's something cool about sort of like riding your bike to someone's house and knocking on the door and going, can so-and-so come out to play? Like, or come and have a kickabout over the park or play out in the street or whatever it was. Obviously, kids don't do that no more, or not as much. But that was how we used to sort of go around and find out if people could come out. It's pretty cool. School felt like a cage, a slow decay. Now, I had great teachers at school, and I keep in touch with a couple of them still to this day. Ones that I felt understood me. But school as a whole, for me, was no good for the way I learn. It's no good for my creativity. I felt it was stifling. Luckily, like I said, I had a couple of teachers, like Mrs. Hockham, my music teacher and form tutor, who's on Facebook and I still speak to occasionally. She was really encouraging in my music and kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. I mean, imagine being in a situation where you've got people who are older than you in the school that are gunning for you and want to put you down and want to fight you and want to do things to you and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then your music teacher encouraging you to get up in front of the entire school in like a big school assembly and sing in front of them all. Like, that was one of the scariest things I'd ever done, because I was just like, I know what's coming. I'm going to get all the usual, this guy is singing, oh, he's this, he's that. You know, all the stupid comments that people would come out with. Like, because that's how things were seen. I was playing football back then. That was kind of like the macho thing to do. Anything to do with performing arts and singing or whatever. It's like, if anyone did that, it was like, he's gay. Like, and not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but that is what everybody thought. And so I was just like, oh, great. I'm just shooting myself in line now to get more bullying and more hate. So, but hey-ho. I just always seem to have this attitude where I'm like, I'm just going to do it anyway. I know it's going to cause me shit, but I'm just still gonna do it. I don't care. Like I enjoy it, so I'm gonna do it. That was that. It School felt like a cage, a slow decay. It taught us how to doubt and not dream our way. I think school does that anyway. I think it's basically teaching you to get a job, and then a job is basically how much can we pay you for you to forget about your dreams. That's essentially what I think that means. They said I'd burned out, but I learned to burn bright. You don't break a soul that was forged in the night. I think all of the stuff that was hard made me stronger. And I had people around me that were close enough to me that were very encouraging, never discouraged me from trying to do things that I wanted to do. And I felt like that even when I did stuff that I thought could land me in other types of trouble, I would do them for those people, the ones that did believe in me. So that's why I still do it to this day, because it's just been embedded in me now. Every time someone says to me, you can't do something, I'm like, watch me. I'm going to do it. That's what this song's about. It's supposed to be a song about encouragement, about being able to do things that other people say you can't do, and just basically giving a big, massive fuck you to the doubters. So that is what this song's about, and I'm really happy with it, and I hope you guys are too. There's a sing-along catchy kind of melody in the chorus at the end, which we want to hear you lot chanting all the festivals and shows this year. So thanks again for all your support, and we really hope you enjoy the new single, The Weekend. Give it a lot of love. Thank you. See you later. Bye.